My name is Brianna,
And I'm Monique.
and we are
Pretty
Pretty Proverbs.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, y'all say it with me. Come on. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey, we know that school is about to be back in session, so we just wanted to personally share with you some of our college experience.
We don't have all the answers, but we do believe that our stories may be able to help some of you, especially the freshmen.
So, me personally, my senior year in high school, my mind was made. I am not staying home. I am moving, and I'm gonna be grown and independent. Well, I applied for everywhere. I applied at Mississippi State, University of Memphis, Spelman. Got accepted to all of them, but no one was offering the money that I needed. I got scholarships, but I needed a lot more money than they were offering. So of course, uh, home offered the most money, and so that's where I ended up going. Because I took collegiate courses in high school, I started my freshman year with 22 hours, but I needed a certain score on my ACT to get the scholarship that I desired. Now I took my ACT, I passed the first time, but I took the ACT 3 times in order to achieve that score that I needed for the scholarship. That was a faith fight in itself. I think I shared that in one of our first vlogs. It was very, very frustrating, and I got so discouraged, but I realized I needed it. And so I buckled down. I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep trying. And that's why I would also suggest that you do not wait your senior year to take your ACT. Start as soon as possible. So I get into Arkansas State University, and I had pretty good years here, but for me, the first year especially, I was fearful that the professors were going to be really mean and that the classes were going to be hard. Like, this is college. Where honestly, the only major difference between high school and college is 3 months. So it's not that, it's so much harder. It's the hardest thing is to stay focused. Whereas in high school, you have no choice but to pretty much go to class or you see your friends. Well, in college, there are so many liberties that you have in college that you don't have in high school. So I would say that was the biggest thing was to simply stay focused, and not be afraid to ask for help. So I had two experiences with really tough courses. There was biology and what was my other one? A research course. A research course, and my what I gained from those two courses was do not be afraid to ask for help, whether that be from your tutor or from the professor of that course. And I see a lot of students won't do that simply because they don't want to look stupid or they don't want to just take out the time to ask for help. I don't know where our bad reputation comes with having a tutor, but if it helps you pass the class, you better take that tutor, especially if they offer tutoring for free at your campus. So that was the biggest thing that I learned from that. I will say one thing that I do regret is that I didn't really get involved. Yeah, I have a high GPA and I have a full ride, but I want that college experience. So I'm going into my last semester as an undergraduate, and I'm looking to get more involved. I won't get so involved that my courses go lacking or my study habits or GPA goes lacking because I want to maintain my 3.8 GPA. And I've had a pretty good college experience, and we're going to share some tips with you after she shares her experience.
So kind of had an opposite experience. I got to college and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do what they do on TV, and that's turn up, So I partied my first couple of semesters away, and fortunately, God had enough grace on me to bring me back to reality through someone. They pretty much put in perspective, Monique, you've been granted the opportunities to make it this far, especially after the struggle of actually getting into the institution, being able to afford it. Why not take that opportunity and take advantage of it? And so I was like, you know what, you're right. So the first couple semesters, first couple years, was a little shaky for me. My GPA didn't wasn't what I wanted to be. I didn't fail, and I was never on academic probation, but it wasn't what I had set out for myself. So I buckled down and I got into some courses that I actually enjoyed. I ended up switching my major my junior year, got into courses um, that I enjoyed and actually loved. So, you guys don't be frustrated if the first year you decide I hate this major, or I don't want to do, you know, this anymore. Switching to something you actually like and enjoy, and it'll make the next couple years go by like a breeze. I was able to study abroad. Unlike then, I actually wanted to get involved because I've always been a social butterfly. Unfortunately, that's not always a good thing, but in my case, in this aspect, it was a good thing because it made me want to try a little bit of everything. I probably have been in every club here. I probably didn't stay, but I've probably been in every club, and so I did decide to join a sorority. Greek life may not be for everybody. You really it's something that you really want to do if it's something that you want to do, and it takes a lot of dedication, and you definitely have to stay focused and actually know yourself, because if you're having some identity issues, as sometimes we do when we're in a new environment, you never want to join something that you think will alter that for you. So definitely have a solid foundation in yourself as well. In addition to that, I mean, I got me a tutor in several aspects, because sometimes you do need that extra push, and sometimes it's not based on the lack of intelligence you have. Sometimes it's really hearing it out of another person's mouth. For me, a lot of my science courses, I just needed to hear it from somebody else. I ended up graduating with over a 3.0. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was over a 3.0, and I'm satisfied with that. And so now I'm in my master's program, and I'm starting off with a 4.0. Just finished my first semester, and I have a 4.0 goal set for myself to get this degree.
So we're going to cover 10 tips that we gathered from our college experience. Number one, develop a solid relationship and keep constant communication with your advisor. Whoever your university assigns you to as your advisor, you need to be in their face. It is not their job to track you down. You are an adult. You are the student, but you gotta keep that communication. But because that'll help you know, like, okay, am I on track for my course? Is this the major that I need to be in? Am I taking irrelevant courses? Help me out. So I would definitely suggest to keep that communication with your advisor.
As I said earlier, don't stress over choosing a major the first year. If you don't know what you want to do, that's fine. A lot of people come to college and don't know what they want to do. As I said before, I changed my major my junior year, right before my VAT, and decided I want to be a professor of communications, because guess what? I like to talk, and that was okay. Stay in your advisor's face, like she said, because once you decide to change that major, of course, you're going to be on a different track. So don't stress over that.
Number three, take each class seriously. So that's go to class, number one. Be on time and you do your homework. I know that in high school, some of us was like, oh, it's the breeze, and we get A's without studying. That's not college. Okay, for 95% of people in college, that's not going to work. So a lot of times, there are parties and your friends have different class times. So you're like, I want to be with them, but you better show your face in that classroom. I'll get into that later, but on the syllabus, they'll tell you, okay, you missed such and such classes, you're out. And they don't have to tell you again because it's on the syllabus. So I would really suggest that you go to class, be on time, and do your homework.
As she mentioned, a lot of professors would mention in their syllabus what the requirements are. Make sure that you read and keep the syllabus provided at the very beginning of your course. That is going to be your Bible for college, per se. It gives you the rundown of what's required of the course. All the rules and regulations are there, for you in print, so you can be like, okay, I know what to follow, I know what to keep me out of trouble, I know what's going to give me an A. And then they provide a course schedule, so if you want to be involved, you can be like, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I know I got to do this, read these chapters. It's definitely a guideline for all 4 years. And then a lot of professors, when you do something, a little bit off, they'll be like, well, refer to the syllabus. And if you don't have it, you have nothing to refer to. So you got a bad grade for nothing.
The next one, I call it a blow-off class. I say choose one blow-off class if you can each semester. That doesn't mean that you actually blow the class off. But do choose one class that does not require like dire attention, or that doesn't cause as much stress. So if you have you're getting into your major courses, and I usually take 15 hours, that's 5 classes. Take 4 classes towards your major, and then 1 elective, something that doesn't cause as much stress as your other courses.
Next, make friends. I mean, one of the best things about the college experience is meeting people from everywhere, all types of the diversity of a university is amazing. I mean, literally people from all backgrounds. These are sometimes going to be your support systems. These are people that's going to keep you encouraged when that class is really getting on your nerves or that professor is really not working with you. This is your support system where you can then be like, okay, look, you guys, this is what I'm going through. They're going through the same thing, so they're going to be like, Monique, you can do it. Keep pushing. Make sure it's the right group of friends. We've discussed that in the previous blog also, because you may have some that say, girl, don't go to that class. Okay, that's not your friend. Okay. But make friends. Make friends.
The next, develop study habits. So if you didn't have them in high school, it's time to get them now. You know what works for you. Me personally, I can't do a lot of noise and a lot of people around me, so study parties don't work for me because I'm not going to stay focused. I can't study with her because I want to talk to her about what happened today and who else I talked to. So if it's flashcards, if it's study partner, if it's, I would also suggest studying 30 minutes to an hour every day. So when you do have your exam, you're not cramming everything. You know a little bit because you've been studying a little bit every day. So try to find what works for you early.
Next, I'm going to include something that I've learned towards the end of my undergraduate college career is pray and make time for God. I mean, one, he's the reason why you're where you're at now anyhow. Two, it's going to be some courses that take you down through there. And you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. But definitely pray. Make sure that you keep the person that's a top priority, because sometimes you get so caught up in being involved and keeping a 4.0 and going to class that you forget, oh, hey, I'm right here, I want to talk to you. It's just like, having to call home to your mom. She probably calls you 4 times a week, and you probably like, I'm going to call her later. And then finally she's like, well, I haven't heard from you in a while. God feels the same way sometimes. So make sure you find that time. I mean, even if it's penciling in every day 10 minutes to pray or, 5 minutes to read my Bible, make sure you make that time for him.
Next, I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. I said that earlier. So whether that's your instructor or your tutor or another professor that is good in this particular subject, but they're not teaching your class, or a friend that's good in another subject, and especially if you're going to ask the professor, ask them before midterm time. Because after you see that grade, or right at midterm time. So now midterms, okay, how you're doing in class, what you need help with. Don't get to the end of class and say, well, what can I do to help? Because they're going to say nothing. You should have asked earlier. So stay on top of it and ask for help. Please, please, please. I can't stress that enough.
And then finally, keep a graduation checklist to be sure that you're making progress and not taking irrelevant courses like I did. Make sure that you keep that document that they provide for you that says these are the courses you need. They may say you need a couple of electives, but even some checklists have an option for what type of courses you can take for your electives. But it pretty much just keeps you on track to make sure that you graduate in a time frame that you're wanting to graduate in.
So we hope that we've helped you in some way. We realize that you may not be able to relate to everything that we said, but we hope that you can relate to something that we said. And I'm going to leave you with a scripture that my mom gave to me when I was struggling with some of my courses. And it's James 1:5. It says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. See you later.
Gonna be hard to shut us down.